Okay, we're gonna get started. Hopefully my sound will improve. If not, I'm so sorry, y'all. But Tiffany sounds good, so that's what counts. We're here to hear from Tiffany. So my name is Megan, and I am the host of the book club. If this is your first book club meeting, welcome. Feel free to chat in the comments section. Feel free to ask any questions. All of the things. And we're gonna chat with Tiffany. Tiffany, welcome. Tiffany is from Fidgets and Fries on Instagram and on Facebook now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to post more on Facebook. I don't really do it too much.
Yeah, I know you like stick with a platform and then like you try to do these other platforms, they just don't work out as well. But
Yeah.
I found you, not that you were lost, but I did find you on Instagram like a year ago or something, and I was like, who is this person? I need more of this person. I need more of this person in my life.
Yeah.
So yes, welcome. All
That's
right.
okay.
Oh yes, Patreon. Don't forget this one.
Yeah, I'm on
To
there.
support Tiffany on Patreon. Awesome. Thank you for all the links, Angelina. All right, we're gonna start out with Tiffany. Tiffany, can you tell us about yourself, like all of the things about you?
Oh gosh. I write. Um, I advocate. I'm autistic. I'm a mom, a wife. Uh, really, really dedicated pie eater. Um,
That's important.
yes, I should have listed that. Should have said that first. It's like the most important thing in my life is
You should
pie.
definitely have mentioned it to y'all here earlier today.
See, I missed that. I don't know. I'm everything. I wear many, many hats. And sorry, I got distracted by my son.
And
He's
yeah,
playing.
you're a mom as well.
Yeah.
So kids are in the background at every meeting, and we don't care. Like kids are our life, whatever. We welcome children all of the time.
Yeah.
Hey, Louisa. I am a chips and cheese eater myself, Bobby. I like chips and cheese. That's my go-to. All right. So talk to us about growing up, Tiffany. Were you diagnosed as a kid, or did you always know you were autistic? Like, how was it growing up for you?
I think I always knew I was different. I didn't know what it was though. It was just I'm not the same as like my sister or my cousins, um, or pretty much a lot of other people in our family. And I didn't really know why. Like it was just like, why do I feel this way? Why do I think this way? Why do I need to do these certain things to feel better or a certain way? Like I had my own little way of interacting with the world so that I could feel like safer in it or better. Um, and I didn't understand really why. And honestly, I didn't know it was considered wrong or bad until someone pointed it out. Like I didn't realize that was what I was doing. They were like, "Oh, what is she doing? What is she doing? This doesn't look right. She's not like us. She's weird and very odd, and I don't want to be around her." And so I didn't really get that I was so different until it was like pointed out to me so much. Like I felt, different from my family and stuff. But then as you got older, like in school and stuff, then they started to point out a lot more things. And then you feel a lot worse about yourself. And
Can you give some examples of like what were like different things that you would do that people might would point out?
I think one of the obvious things is my hands. I used to kind of like always do weird things with my hands. Still kind of still do them, but not as much. So I would like kind of like twist them up or like bend them back and put one nail into the other nail and then kind of like flick it around and I would just kind of like stare at it. Or I would stare like my son does this now too, but he takes his hand and then he like he's looking through things like because I liked how the light came through and I was like and you could control how much light comes in. Like there was like a part of like control for me. I am in control of this situation. Like a lot of the things that I did was so that I can like maintain some type of like control in this environment where I had none, like or like very little control. So it was just like, oh, let me do this. I'm in control of
This
this
thing. Yeah.
situation thing. And it was just hard because they just kind of they make fun of you and she's weird. She does these weird things with her fingers and she's always writing and she's always not talking and she's not listening. That was a big thing. She's not listening,
Oh, that's a big one.
listening at all. And she just is always over there in the corner and she's by herself. She doesn't talk, And then when I would talk, then they didn't like how I talked. They're like, oh, she's so monotone and she's so flat, you know, so slow. She talks so slow. And it's just like,
Did you
I,
want me to talk or not? Like, you
it
said you
was
wanted me to talk, and then now you don't like the way I talk.
like, down talking. You don't like how I talk, And it was just like, school was hard. It was really hard. Like, my family didn't make me feel any different. I felt different from them, but they didn't really treat me different or anything like that. It was outside of home where they pointed it out more and more until it was just like I think I hit like my breaking point, I guess, when I was like 15, 15, 16. And I didn't want to go to school. Like I didn't want to go to school at all. And my mom was like, you have to go. You gotta go. I didn't want to go. And I didn't want to go. And she went to work and I didn't have a car or anything because, I'm like 15, 14, or whatever. And I said, I'm going to walk to my grandparents' house. They lived like, they were a half an hour drive away. So you can imagine how the walk would be. And I'm like, I'm walking there. So I skipped school and they called my mom. They knew I wasn't there. But I called my grandma before I left. And I was like, I'm coming over there and stuff. And so my mom found me like walking the highway and stuff. And they took me to a therapist. And I think that was the first time someone brought up Asperger's was then. But I don't know what happened with that. I don't think my parents wanted to explore that fully. Because I don't think they fully understood it either. Like depression, they kind of understood. Like
Yeah.
anxiety, they understood that. But this entirely new thing, they didn't understand. So I didn't go any further with that type of evaluation. I just stuck with like the other evaluations and they gave me depression meds and like anxiety meds and just made me sleep like the whole day. Um and then I diagnosed at 18 with Asperger's because I was in college and I didn't know what the heck was going on.
Yeah, what? Tell me. Hold on. Before you talk to me about that, T is in the house. AT finger posturing.
Yeah, that's see, I didn't have a name for it. I was just boom, boom. And then sometimes they were like, she's throwing gang signs. I'm like, what?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was around. I was like in high school like then, and I was still kind of doing it and stuff. Just
Is this the 90s?
yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Good
But
morning. This is must be somebody in Australia. I'm thinking it's like 6 a.m. there.
oh, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yes. Every one of these meetings, I do learn something new, like a phrase or something.
I'm using that next time.
Yeah. Same here, Angela. Same here.
Uh,
Um. So tell me, like, you go to college, right?
mhm.
Okay. So you're in. Is that where you were diagnosed in college? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how did that even come about? Because you're not even with your mom now. You're
I didn't have that safety there. It was like in school, I was like, I had my grandma was down the way. If I needed her, she was like phone call away. Could go visit her. I could drive there. I could see her, could talk to her. I had my mom and my sister, everything. And then I leave and I go to this school. Was like 3 hours away, so I can't really come home like I want. I didn't have the best car as a freshman, and then I didn't really like driving that much because like anxiety. So I'm stuck in this city where I know no one, and I have no friends. Well, I really didn't have like friends in high school, but I didn't have any. And I would spend probably I got there 2 weeks before the school started, so I could move in and stuff, and then I would map out my safe route to class. Like, oh yeah, I could go this way and I can get to class this way, and then I can get to class this way, and I can get to class this way. And I didn't go to school the first week of classes because you know how they have like you have the same class Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or then you have the same one like Tuesday, Thursday.
yeah. Uh huh.
I missed the first week deliberately because I wanted to see how traffic patterns were. Like I wanted to see like okay, Monday it looks like this.
You were
This is
like chasing the joint.
yeah. I needed to make sure I could get where I needed to be. You know, that this was the right way for me to be and handle it. And then I would stand outside the class that I had, and I would kind of like see okay, this class has what like 20 people, 20. You know, the seating is good enough. They're kind of spaced. It has like the I can make that one work. But if it's a class and it's like in a small room, there's like 60 of you, and we're sitting on top of each other, then I probably most likely drop that class, and I didn't do it. And so I lost a pen one day. It was like my most favorite pen like ever, and it was had a troll topper because I was like into trolls then, and I can't get that troll topper anyway, and I lost it, and then I completely like lost it. Like my roommate was just kind of like, "Whoa, she's like not
Right.
well,
I can't handle this. Like, this is
yeah,
not something I'm
not
qualified for. This is not in my roommate contract.
yeah." And I felt bad for her, but I couldn't stop. It was just like that pen is gone, and my life is like ruined, you know, and so I missed a test that I knew I was going to pass. I was going to ace that test. Like I didn't fail tests. And but I missed it. And I needed a reason why I missed it. So I heard that it was easier to get into psych services than it was to get into the clinics, the health clinic. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just, sign up there, say I had a session or something. Then I was like, well, I do have depression. So, like I'll go for that. And
Working smarter, not harder. I like it. Okay.
yeah, I was like, I just want
Yeah.
to go. And I go and I'm talking to him and he's just sitting there. He's just like, huh. And I'm like, what? And he's like, have you heard of Asperger's? And I was like, man,
I've
like,
heard that phrase
yeah,
before.
like a couple years ago. And he was like, I'm gonna evaluate you for that. We're gonna go through all of that.
You were like, I just wanted a note.
I just wanted a note. I was like, can I get a note though? So it took like 2 days. I think we did like he did like an evaluation over a 2 day period. Um, because I initially went in there for something else and then he wanted to do more. So it ran over. So I just did over 2 days and he gave me my diagnosis and I was like, I don't know what this is. So I thought it was like anxiety, like a weird extreme version of anxiety. I was just like, why don't you just tell me I'm anxious and send me on my way? And that's how I got it. Then and I took a paper and just like kind of like stuck it in my drawer under like everything else. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to look at it. It was just great.
I'm like, I'm in awe in totally different ways. Uh-oh. Hi. Yeah. Okay, I'll get some. Okay. Okay. I'm in awe because first of all, the college psychologist even like recognize that in you. First of all, I mean,
Do
because
you know
you're
how rare that is? Like when
yeah,
you
like
look at it, rare, rare. And it's like hard enough to get a diagnosis as an adult. Like that's hard just to do that. And then to be a woman and get it. And then to be a black woman and get it. It was just like I hit like
right,
lottery right there.
right. Like there's no way. Like
Out.
but then I'm in awe a little bit more that like he was so observant and so like forward thinking, but yet then didn't give you
Just
anything else. Like here
but
you go, here's the
he gave me
diagnosis.
a paper that kind of like, okay, this is kind of what it is, and you know, be free. But I don't like it. I might not have given him the best opportunity to help me any further because I wanted the note. Really, I didn't want to hear anything else. I just need the note, and it was ironic. It's like that's probably part of the various conditions that I have, where I just wanted the note, and I didn't really care about the fact that okay, you have this. Maybe you want to like address that or confront it or think about it or do something with it. Now I just wanted the note so I could go take the test. So
Yeah,
I could
like I
like,
was just here for
get
the
it.
note. Did you
Yeah.
tell him your troll story? The story about the troll?
Yeah. I think that's where it started. What started his head going. Um I wasn't going to, but I thought I needed to tell him something while I was there. And I was like, I needed to have him give me a reason so that he can write my note better instead of I'm just here to get a note. So I was like, well, I'll just tell him what just happened. And, go from there. I thought he was just going to be like, well, I don't know what I thought he was going to say that was. Because even in my head, I knew the response wasn't rational that much. It was just like, because it scared me. Like, it was just like, man, I'm like scared of myself. And it was just, and I sat in the corner of my bed for probably like the entire day. I don't even think I got up to go to the bathroom. Just in that corner. And like I covered myself with a blanket and I just sat there. And it was just, I don't know what I was thinking or what I felt or any of that. But I didn't really give him an opportunity to
get to do that.
help. So
To get to do that. To get to do that. So okay, so this time, did you call your mom? Did you tell your parents? Like, did you get to do that? Did you tell your parents? Like, to get to do that. To get to do that. Sorry, I've got some AAC action going on over here. Oh. Stimming on the AAC device. Like, so what? Did you tell your parents? Did the doctor tell your parents?
No, the doctor didn't talk to my parents. I guess because I'm 18 and
you're a grown up at that point.
The cabinet in there with the dog biscuits and stuff. He's not gonna eat those. He's just gonna bury them. Makes no sense. You can do it. You can try, but he might just bury it. All right. Bye. Sorry.
We're over here like just trying to manage.
Yeah, I was like, you know what was weird is I have if you count all of the people that I have as followers from all the platforms that I have, including my blog, my whatever here, that's like 34,000 ish or something, and my parents don't know. They don't know. I'm confused if my sister knows. I'm so confused if my sister knows. I told my mom, I told my grandma and my husband, who's my then boyfriend, soon after I was diagnosed. I called my grandma, I told her, and it felt like like this weird weight was kind of like off me a little bit, but I still didn't fully understand what it was. But I didn't think like my mom could like, I don't know if she could handle it. I just felt comfortable with my grandma to tell her. And I had that was how it always was. Like if there was like hard stuff for me to bring up, then I would tell my grandma, she like act as a buffer or something and I had the intention of bringing that up to my mom, but it was just, it never really like came. I met my husband like the following year and I told him. And I told him in an effort to be like, I didn't really want to deal with you. So if I tell you something, it'll scare you away and you'll leave me alone and I can move on. But he ain't going nowhere. So it's like still there. But my
He's
parents,
like, girl, we all got issues.
right. And that's pretty much what he said. It was just like I still haven't. I still haven't figured it out. I still haven't figured out the best way to be like, I am like they know my children are autistic. They get it somewhat. But it's just I just didn't. Oh, and part of it was because I hid it for so long and so much, and I didn't have a neurodiversity back. That wasn't back then. There wasn't this big social media presence. There was no like autistic community. Be proud of who you are. Yada, boom. No, I have this thing that they say is a disorder and makes me disabled. And I come from a community that is not very welcoming to disabled people. And that's just what that is. And I don't have a nice way to say that, but the Black community is not that friendly with disabled people. And I didn't know how to put that out there because I have disabled family members and I see how they were treated. And I didn't want that to be me. And I was like, that's not really me. I don't really present like that. That's not, and so I didn't know
Yes,
how to,
no.
I didn't know how to bring that up, bring that up, and I just kind of hit it, and then I just years go by, and then um Aiden was diagnosed, and I thought, okay, I could do it then, but I threw myself so hard into him that I just neglected every part of myself. And then JoJo was diagnosed, and I was like, okay, I can do that because JoJo's is more similar. Like we have like similar ways in how we
Yeah.
interact with the world and everything. So maybe they'll understand. Like, like, hey, I'm like JoJo, and JoJo's like me. But to see like those first few years, knows how both my family and my husband's family reacted to his diagnosis was kind of like kept me from doing it. They were more like, nothing's really wrong with him. He speaks, or it was just like a lack of understanding. And I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm doing this right now. It's like I already deal with like too much, and I don't want to have to explain what I am and all this. And I didn't do it. And so when I started sharing online, part of it was me trying to build up like that courage to kind of, I tell the world, boom. But one day I can tell my sister is, it's weird. The situation with my sister is so weird because she is on all of my socials. Like she's on my Instagram, she's on my Facebook. She follows my Facebook page, she follows my Instagram page. And so she sees that stuff, but she hasn't really brought it up. And so like I wondered, then I'm like afraid to be like, hey, do you know? Or do you get it? Like she'll like my stuff, she'll love my stuff, she'll like and I'm just confused if she knows and she just doesn't care that I am, or it's just because we're like crazy close. But it's just I haven't I
And
just
it's obviously such a big part of your life right now. Like this is what you're doing with your
yeah,
like almost your like entire being right now is that, and it's just this unspoken elephant in the room almost.
yeah, yeah. And it's like I kept telling us like this is the year that I'm going to do it. I'm not gonna not do it. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna have that conversation, that thing, and then we'll see what comes of it. Where it comes. I don't know how it's gonna go or what. But I'm looking forward to it once I figure out how I'm gonna frame it or put it out there. It's always so weird though. It's just like, man, I don't know. He said maybe, yeah. I think she probably is waiting for me to bring it up. I don't know if she wants to, and that is a lot. That's in line with her character though. So she's probably just waiting for me to be like, boom, and then
And
yeah.
and are your parents on social media at all, or like?
My mom has a page, but she just doesn't. She hasn't been on it a long time because she keeps forgetting her passwords. So she just doesn't go on at all. My stepdad has a page. I think he just got one. I'm not sure. No, he might not have one.
We have
I
so
know he's
many
on
comments. Hold
Instagram, but
on, we have so many comments for you. Let's look. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I hear this from a few of the people who have come out that I follow have like come out to the world or whatever as like transgender um or or gay or something like that. They've said like, oh well, my mom found out from this thing that I did on social media, and it like kind of broke the ice basically. Like I didn't have to tell my mom because my mom read it on this big ass article that I wrote or something like that. Like, and
Yeah.
so it was helpful to them, but it doesn't seem like it's working for you, Tiffany.
It, no, it's not. Like I gotta have the only family members who are not on freaking social media. Like, and I think that's part of what made it so easy for me to share that side of myself though, because I knew that they weren't really gonna be reading it. So it was just like, okay, just boom, put it out there, go out there. And I don't know. It's always so weird. Like everybody has that shock face. They're like,
How do they not know? Right? Like, how is this even
no,
possible?
they know, and your parents don't know. And I'm just like, no.
Bobby said, "Yep, I'm home visiting my mom in the States from the UK. I was worried about telling her I'm in the middle of being diagnosed and identified totally as autistic. She shocked me by fully accepting it."
That's so amazing. That's what
That's
I hope
that is
my
amazing.
folks do too. I hope that they are accepting and receptive to what I have to tell them. I think that I'm like worried about that. So I don't know. And I don't know how I would take it if they didn't um accept it. I think that's probably like part of why I just keep pushing it back to it's like, dang, what would happen if they didn't accept me? But then on the other hand, I'm like, it's okay if they don't because I accept me, and I have that has to be the the bigger thing for me right now. But hey, I don't know. But I
We'll all
gotta
go. Look, we'll all go. The whole book club will come with you to talk.
do. Just
We'll all be there
make
for you.
me help me.
So okay, so let's. I want to back up just a little bit. How did you start like your advocacy work? Like, how did you start Fidgets and Fries? I mean, like you said, you're huge right now. Like on Instagram, you got like 30 some thousand followers or something like that. Like you are like doing big things. Everybody loves your writing. People are talking about it right now on in the comments. Love your writing. It's amazing. It's so insightful. It's the things that people aren't saying, right? It's the how
Yeah.
did you start that?
Um, I started as I just started sharing stories about my children first. Like I have like I always write in journals and stuff, and then I just started sharing it on my personal Facebook page. And then all of my friends there, that I met in autism groups, they were like, "This helped me so much. You should write. You should do a blog. You should do whatever." So I did a blog. It was I should have researched how to do one better. It just kind of just whatever. Put it out there. It I'm not gonna lie.
That's the best way to do it. It's the realest way. Like this is
It
just how I
sucked
feel.
so bad. It was so bad. But and then I took it down and then I was like, but this is still something that I want to do. Like the bulk of the advocacy I was doing in real life. Like I was helping coach people through IEP meetings. I was writing letters to our legislators here in Texas. I was going to Austin and I was sleeping in the freaking Capitol building hallways to talk to somebody about something that's going to help us.
In
And
the trenches. You are in the trenches.
yeah. And I was like, well, I'm going to share more about that on there and how I'm helping my kids. And so it was mostly from being a parent. I didn't really do from being autistic myself. It was just parent. I'll do it as a parent. So my first page name where I took it more seriously, I did it as two dollops of autism because it was from my boys. Two little scoops of lovely awesomeness, just dolloped all over the place.
Dollar.
Yes, it was not my best work. but it was there. So it was just, that was my first blog site thing where I took what I was doing on the internet more seriously. And before then I was kind of just like playing around with it and seeing what I wanted. And but even with that, I was still trying to develop my voice there. And as time went on and as they got older and as I got more frustrated with how things were going within the community, and then being frustrated with not living my own authentic self, really. Like I was just presenting as being a parent online, and I couldn't do it. I was breaking myself apart to share one side when all of my sides kind of influence each other, and that frustrated me. And so I shut that down and decided that I wanted to be all parts of myself. And so I was like, I just need a name. I just need a name that is fun, that represents our personalities, but also lets you know that it's related to autism, not fully autism. When I had the first page and had autism in the name, I felt like I had to just, everything had to be autism all the time. And that's how I felt. And I was like, oh, I want to be something bigger and different. And
Nobody puts Tiffany in the corner. Like,
yes,
no,
I do
you're not
that.
gonna put the thumb on me. No.
And I was putting myself in that corner, but I wanted a name. I wanted a start that was gonna be like, oh, this reflects this person's personality, but then it also is related to this community in some way, like fidgets. We all know what those are. And, you know, me and my youngest, we are like fidget lovers. Biggest ones ever, like boxes of them. And my oldest loves fries. So I was like, boom,
Damn.
fidgets and fries. I was gonna do something weird and wonky like fidget fries and Ferraris or something, because my kid was like so into the Ferrari at the time. And then he switched to Fords, but she's still in love with Fords. So I was just like, oh, cool, fidget fries and Fords. And then I was like, no, because one day I might get like real big, and then I got Ford in my name. So I like took it off, and I was like, we'll stick with fidgets and fries. And then that was around the time when I was like, boom, I'm also artistic, guys. I was dropping, see, I would write about it, but I wouldn't like draw the attention to it. Like I wasn't like saying, boom, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm autistic, I'm autistic, I'm autistic. I would like write it within the post, and it would be like more like
Hinting at it, like almost
yeah,
hinting. Yeah.
it was more like, it's in there, but it wasn't like the big, like this big focal point. And then I got frustrated with the direction of this community and how they didn't listen to the voices of everyone within it. Like autism looks like so many different things. And we were only seeing like one type of autism out there. And I was getting frustrated because the same families who I was sleeping on those floors in the Capitol buildings wouldn't help me. Wouldn't be like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, there's not a lot of help and assistance for autistic people of color, or there's so many programs that are geared towards autistic people, but then when you go to them and you sign up for them, there's these like this criteria that eliminates like over half of the people that can do it. Like it's only for people who are high functioning, or they gotta have a certain IQ, or they gotta do it's just like, how does that help us? You're like eliminating so many people that need so much help. And so I got frustrated, and then I just started writing about my life as being Black autistic woman, mother, advocate. And at first,
People, it has
at
affected
first
people.
people were like, no, I don't know about this. She seems like she's dividing us all up. It was hard at first, but I kept at it. I didn't care if I had one follower at all. Like, that's
You're
it.
gonna share your truth.
That one person's gonna be well informed, and they're gonna go out there and rule the world from what I'm telling them. That's what I thought. I was like, I don't care. I didn't have one person, you know, and that's how I would write. I was like, I didn't care if y'all liked me or what I had to say. I'm still gonna say it. And I don't know what happened. It was just like, oh, I know what happened because I was
I
writing
know,
about
I know,
it, and it
I
was
know what happened.
George Floyd happened, and I blew up. And it was just like, and I was like the same stuff that like I was always writing about that I wasn't seeing on Instagram at all or seeing anywhere else that I was writing about. Now y'all are paying attention to me because we had to lose another person. And it was just, I took that hard. I was so freaking mad because I was like so mad, and I tried to not be mad. Like I didn't want to be mad, but it was just like a lot of like different like emotions just like boil up in you. And you're just like, it took another black body to die in the streets for you to see what I'm saying, for you to like hear what I'm saying. And it was just very frustrating. And
I didn't realize that, Tiffany, that that's when you like blew up. I
that's
didn't
what
know that because
I had like, I think
I
I had,
found you so long before that. I mean, to me, you were like huge. Like you were like,
I felt like I was the best thing on there.
yeah,
Just
like you were. I mean,
like,
seriously, like to me, like I think I found you like right like the summer before that or something. I don't know when it was, but I found you and it was like this is what I've been looking for. Like this is yes. What you're saying
wow.
is, and I didn't realize that you weren't blown up then. Like I felt like you were
It
blown
was
up.
so weird because I would tell everybody that would send me that was following me, they would send me like a message like after some certain post, and they would be like, one day they're gonna hear you, you're gonna be super big, and they're gonna, and I didn't really like believe them or anything like that. I was just like, yeah, one, I said, and I would tell them all it takes was just one person to hear me, the right person to hear me, and then more will know me, more will know who I am and what I'm trying to do, and hopefully they'll help me in that effort of what I'm trying to do. And then George Floyd happened, and because I was sitting at a smooth, like steady, slowish kind of growth thing. It was like 2000. I had like a 1900 or something followers, and then George Floyd happened, and then it was all like black squares, amplify black voices, and then boom, I just shot up, and then and then I was so mad, I was so angry because it was just like I think I cried for like 3 days before I like posted because I was so mad because I was like, y'all are you here for like the right
This
reason?
is performative.
Yeah, like are you here because you want to be here, or are you just here because it feels good?
It's trendy right now. Yeah,
And
like it's just
I
yeah. You're trendy. Like, am I just
had,
trendy to you? Like to appease
yeah,
your guilt or whatever it might be.
yeah, I questioned my ability to of everything. I questioned my ability to write, to advocate, to do all that stuff because it was just like I don't know why you're here, like why you're in this space. It's so weird because I think I wrote a post like after it. It was like to be black in America is to know that you have to work twice as hard, be twice as good, all that stuff. And then when you finally get recognition for it, you even question if you were worth it. And that's what I was feeling like. And it was like, I know that I write well. I know that I'm okay with advocacy. I know I do a good job with this and this and this. And then when I get there, it's just like, am I really good? It, am I really like the right person to do what I'm trying to do? And I'm just like, whoa. But I tried to like think back on a lot of the things that like my grandma taught me. She was like, you know, someone else may have brought this person here, but you're the one that made them stay and things like that. And so I'm trying to like, you know, they didn't have to hit follow, um, or they didn't have to stay. So I'm very thankful that they stayed and that they are growing with me because I'm still like learning and growing in this and reinventing myself, all of that. So that's why I'm here. Trying to show a different side to autism and what it means to be autistic and try to like combat the overwhelmingly harmful and negative things out there. There's just so many. There's so many really, really bad advocates like out there. There's and organizations, and you feel like you're not making like this really big like impact because they're so big and they're so huge, and you're just like, I'm just small potatoes. Like I'm little, and I'm
Yeah,
trying.
I totally get that feeling. Yeah, I totally get that feeling.
Yeah.
And I think that's what drew me to your page anyway, because like there's that whole tragedy, like so sad narrative surrounding like kids that might have high support needs, right? With that severe whatever narrative going on. And like we don't live that at our house, right? Like we're not over
No.
here like super sad over here, right? But like you don't see that with a lot of other parents. Bloggers is that high support needs is not like a sad thing. Like and I saw that in you and in your writing, and I think that's what drew me to you like so quickly. It was like finally, like I found this person who understands. Like I don't know if that makes
It does. It does. It was I initially when I started, I was doing it was so heavily weighted towards like advocacy. It was just like that was the main post. It was just like advocacy. This is what we need. Policy changes. This will work. This is what's happening. Look at these wait lists, these waiver programs. They're not good. Yada yada. This, all of that. And then I had a really good friend on there, like thought she was a really good friend, and she was posting like similar things, and she was like sharing a story of her son and stuff. And then she hit this. She posted something about her son. Um, son was scratched her. She had all these scratches on her chest and stuff, and she took a picture of it and she posted it, and she was talking about this is autism and yeah, you know, it was just very, oh my god, it was horrible. Like I felt like it was just like, I mean, it was horrible. She was scratched up, yes, horrible how she framed that post, and she got so many like likes and things, and then after that, she found her pocket, and it was like a pocket of pain, and she just kept
victimhood.
she kept
Yeah,
hitting she kept hitting it, and I was like, what the, oh man. So it was just like after that, that's when it started like writing as like stories and changing how I wanted people to like see the person, and see that it's okay that we're autistic. It's okay and we struggle, but we're okay. And we just need you to see us and accept us and love us and support us and help us. And that's when I started to like incorporate more of the stuff that I would put in my journals, which is like stories and poems and all that other stuff, because I wanted to give a more human side to this diagnosis, and I wanted to combat all that junk that I was seeing and
Well,
hearing.
and it's hard to like combat that, right? Because
Yeah.
like the mega organizations are just like
Mm-hmm. They're
it's an uphill battle to combat that because they have all the money for all the reach and all the ads and all the they have all of this in their favor, and so they can maybe make one post and reach as many people as you would reach in like 20 posts.
yep. And
But that's why it's so important that your voice is there. I mean, that is why it is so important for you to just no pressure or anything. It's not like you're doing it by yourself. I mean, but you know what I mean? Like it it was so important for me to find you. Like it made that much of an impact on me when I was like,
yeah, I wanted to be different. I wanted to not give you the same stuff, because there's my some of my most favorite accounts on Instagram are ones that teach you things that, like, in an academic like way. This is what stimming is, and this is how it shows to me, and this and this and this. And I love those. I follow them. I love them. I learn a lot. But I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to teach you autism. That's what they're good. They will help you with that. And I didn't want to teach people autism. I wanted people to feel it. I want you to feel
experience it.
me. Yeah, I want you to feel me and see me. And I wanted to be not the same similar type of things out there. Like, I feel like if you could see us and you could hear us and you could feel us and you could connect your story, like, if I can connect my story to yours, then you're like more inclined to see me and you're more inclined to want to help me, and you're more, it's like,
To join me, yeah.
yes, I like that that like connection. And I think that a lot of like people, organizations that miss out on that, they don't really, like, they just go in there and they're like, this is what autism is. It affects one in such and such people. This is what it looks like. Um, can you donate some money to help? And that,
To help what exactly, I'm not sure, but
and then
okay.
you're done. And then it's just like, and if I'm sitting there as like just this regular like person, and I'm like seeing this, I'm just like, I don't, okay, here's $1. And then they move on and they go on. And I don't want you to forget me. I want you to
Yeah.
remember me. Like, see that, feel that, and and get it. There's a lot of like neurotypical people out there who were like, I see myself in your son. They don't have autism. They don't know much about it, but they
Connect.
connected in that way. So they see my son more, and they want to know more, and they want to understand him. Like, well, why don't they give him this to help him with this? And that's what you want to do. You want people to see your child or your loved one as something bigger than struggle, or bigger than burdens and things like that. And I'm like, that's what a lot of our advocacy looks like. We look like we are a burden to society that needs to be like super helped. And I always found that odd because society doesn't really respond to that. Even though they treat us as burdens, they don't respond to us acting as burdens, And so, yeah, I'm trying to not be the Cooper's voices of the world, man. I'm really trying not to be that. And um or any of these other really large ones. I'm trying not to be that. I'm trying not to be, you know, Autism Speaks like or any of that. I want to be something that helps like all of us in a meaningful way and includes all of us. And I wanted to create a community that was truly like inclusive and loved one another and got along. And what's crazy is like I sit there and I'll read through all the comments and all the messages, and I do group um chats and messages and stuff, and it's so like amazing because it's like autistic parents, and then it's like autistic adults, and then it's like parents of autistic children, and they're all talking, and they're not arguing, and they're not fighting, and they're not you are this and you don't understand, and you this and you this, and it's like, man, I did that. Like I wanted to pull in all these different people, show them that they have more in common than they, believe or feel, and get them to want to work together within this society to try to get more people to want to help us. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to community build because I'm not satisfied with the current community that we have. It's always,
You're gonna
bro.
make your own community, damn it.
Yes, that's what I said. I wanted to make my own. And back when I first posted about that, it was like a year ago. I said I wanted to create a community that was worthy of my son's member. And I didn't know how to do it, but I just knew I wanted to do it. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring all these people together. When I started, I wanted to be like the glue that held like the parents and the autistic people together. I'm like, I'm both. I can do this. Put it together. Mm-mm, I can't
Not
do
an
that.
easy feat. Yeah, it's
Nope.
not an easy feat.
Nope. And once I dropped that thinking that I can be like this uniter, it like everything opened up for me. Like I'm not gonna fix y'all. I'm not gonna fix this community. I'm gonna just create a different one. I'm gonna create what I want to see. And if anybody else wants to join me, or if they like what they see and they hear and everything, they want to join me in my efforts to make this world a better place for not just myself but my kids and your kids and their kids, and everybody's kids, and everybody's loved ones, and and then join me doing that. I am all for it, but I cannot fix this divide that is there, and I no longer try to do it. But I used to try to do it. I learned. I grew up.
Well, I think that you are still doing it, but that's not your focus. Your focus is on just your truth and speaking it, and other people will just come naturally. Like people will just like me, like I would want to be a part of that, right? So I think other people will just join naturally, and you don't even have to try to do that. You're just doing it, whatever you
Yeah,
call it, naturally.
I wanted to write. I just wanted to write stories and things that people related to. I wanted to invite people into my world and, see me for like a, who I am and not pity me and not dismiss me. Um, I just wanted that. I wanted people to listen to each other. I wanted everybody to listen and understand every each other. It's like I existed so many different parts and it was so frustrating and so hard to not to see all these people not listening to each other. It was like parents weren't listening to the autistic adults. Sometimes and then the autistic adults weren't listening either. And it's just like everybody's not listening and everybody is so valuable. I feel like everybody is so valuable. But it was just not they weren't getting together. So
It's a lot of talking and not enough.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
just that's what I wanted to show that everybody can we're capable of getting along and we're capable of disagreeing but in like a better way. We're capable of talking it out and saying, okay, I see what you're saying here, but I don't really agree with it. So let me tell you what I think. Let me tell you how I feel, and there's not like a lot of that going on. And so it's just wow. This is like frustrating, but I'm kind of happy. Well, kind of like I'm very happy with the little community that I'm building, and I'm have so many things that I have planned for in the near future and a little bit down the line.
Share
And
with us something. Share with us anything you want to share that you have coming up. Like we do want to hear about that, so we
I
can be watching out for it.
so right now I am creating my own little mini course on community building because I want to show and help others to do what I have kind of already done. Because we can't get anything done if we don't have community. We need a lot of bodies and a lot of ideas and a lot of effort. It has to be a big joint effort if we want to see any big changes. So it's going to be like a thing that helps people to create their own little spaces or community of little workers for change, who wants to go out there in the world and help
Change it.
and,
Change the world. Yeah.
and make it better. So I'm like 40% done with doing that. Like I'm still like putting it all together and
I'm excited about that, and it's
oh,
so right up my alley.
I was like, well, I should do that. That should work. And then I'm almost done with this ebook I'm doing about advocating in a way that I feel is more um, beneficial. Like I think that awareness months is kind of corny sometimes. They don't really go far enough. Um, but you know, being able to not just tell your story, but also like attach what it is that you need from the community. So it's like sometimes you always see people and they'll just post all the struggles and this is hard and this is a flag and this is a symptom and this is this. And so, or then you have the other extreme where they just tell you a nice story and it feels great. And I love those because I read a lot of them. But, but then you gotta sometimes connect, you know,
In
the
action.
story in action. And, this is what we need. This is what our community needs. You know, my kids have been on waiver lists since they were like, well, Aiden's been on one since he was 18 months. He's still like number 17,600 and something. He's not coming up on that when he's eligible for it at all. And then there's not even a guarantee that he's even qualified for it. It's just a wait list till you come to the top, and then they gotta evaluate you to see if you can still use it or whatever. So there's just a lot of work that needs to be done. And so that's what I'm hoping to like address in that ebook, to like help people be able to connect their stories with like very
Tangible thing.
tangible things that they can do in the, with their work. Connect the story to some action and create change.
When is
Let's
that
make
going to come out? When are you going to be done with that?
that one is, I'm more done with that one almost. I think I'm probably about 80% done with that one. I keep switching between doing that one and doing the other one. And then I'm like writing two books at the same time. And then I'm just like, probably should not do that. But it's just how my mind works. I have to do it. I got to. I want to do it. I'm writing a kid's book. And then another one is just like a bunch of poems, a bunch of collection of poems. I was going to do a chat
I
book,
love that.
but I was like, oh, I think I have too many to be a chapbook, so I think I'm just gonna make it a collection of poems, and
I
then
love
I'll
that.
put some to the kids' book, and yeah, hopefully I finish one of them by the summer, because I'm just like doing all this, so many other things, and then I'm just like, you're never gonna finish, Tiff. You're never gonna finish.
You will. You will. I know it's the last. It's the last bit of it that's like the hardest thing, like to actually like get it finished and like follow through.
Yeah,
Follow through.
that's me. The beginning and the ends are always like the hardest for me. I can't remember how to start stuff. I know, like people always ask me like, how do you come up with stuff that you write? And I'm like, I never start at the beginning. I always write in the middles, and then I do the ends, and then I come up with the beginning. I can't. The beginnings are always like hard for me. Like, how do I start it? Because I feel like the start is what grabs most people, and I feel like that's a lot of pressure. I can't get it. So, but I read books backwards, so it's just like whatever. I want to see if the book is worth my time, so I read the end, and then I'm like, oh, it touched me in such a way. Then I'll go back, and then I'll like kind of read it that way. And
That's
then I was
how
like,
I read magazines. Like, well, back when there were magazines to read, like I always started in the back. This is so fun. But I thought it was just the way my hands went. Like it was easier to flip it that way than it was.
dang, that works.
Well, I'm excited about the ebook, so you'll have to keep me apprised so that we can feature it in the book club.
Yes, I'm excited about it too. I was like, I want to do an ebook. Just like dip my toe in my book writing thing, and put it out there and be like, put it into the world.
Yeah, just put it out there. Just exactly. Just put it
Or
into
I
the
finally
world.
like do an actual book. That's like my goal in life. Like right next to meeting Oprah is like writing a book. It's like putting a book out. I want to put a book
You know,
out.
Oprah has a book club.
I know.
That
And
would
I
be
want
a
to
good way
I
to
want
be
to be
on
one of
it.
her books. I want to be one of her books in her book club. Like just put me there. Put me there. And so yeah, I'm excited about everything that I'm doing or trying to do. And yeah. And then I got the little I got the interview with Yahoo. which I don't know when that's airing, but you know, whenever they give me the link to when it's airing, then I will let you guys know.
Yeah, let us know and I'll boost it for you. Oh, thank you for reminding me, Angelina. Okay. Is there anything else you have coming up that you can think of?
I can think of.
Not that that's not enough.
I'm gonna probably think of answers like later. I
I mean, honestly, that's plenty. Okay. But I do want to ask you this before I forget, and Angelina reminds me. So I do want to ask you this. And you can think about it for like 20 seconds if you want, since I didn't give it to you in advance. If you could give one piece of advice to the parents of a newly diagnosed autistic kid, what would it be? Brand new parent.
breathe. Oh my gosh. No one told me to breathe, man. I got that diagnosis and I think I held my breath for about 3 days. And as you feel like all this stress and you feel all everything is just like hitting you, the swirl of emotions, and you're not breathing. You're not thinking. You're like, relax. Your child is the same child they were yesterday. Like, I remember the exact time my sons got their diagnosis. It was like 1:03 p.m. for Aiden, and it was 3:17 for JoJo. And it was like they were still the same kids they were at 8 in the morning than they were at 3:17 and 1:03. And it was just they didn't change. They just got a diagnosis. And just breathe. Enjoy your children. You know, they gave my sons a diagnosis and they gave me a stack of papers. And they were like, sign up for this, sign up for this, sign up for this, sign up for this, go to this, um, sign up for SSI, make sure you get Medicaid, make sure you do this, go for this. Here's this organization, here's this parent group, here's this. It was just like a packet of stuff. And then here's a list of these recommended books that we think you should read. Read these books, take this class, do this thing. And it was just like, and you felt like, damn, I gotta do this all. Like a check,
Today.
yeah, same day. And you're like, I gotta hit the
You
ground
can do
running.
this right now.
Help my kid. I have to help them right now. And you have this stack of stuff. And you don't even give yourself enough time to like one process the diagnosis fully. I didn't process it at all. In addition to not breathing, I didn't even think about what autism would mean or for them and for me and for any of. I just like hit the ground running, trying to figure out how to sign up for SSI and this waiver program and this and to take this book. I think I checked out every book they had on that list. I either bought it or I checked it out from the library. And I'm just reading and I'm no breathing. No, I didn't enjoy my children for like a week. I didn't
There's
even
no time for that.
Yeah, there was none. I didn't
No
even
time
realize
for that.
I wasn't spending the same type of time that I was spending with them before they got diagnosed. I was just kind of, how did I get a fly here? I was just kind of, boom, let me hit it running. It was almost as if they weren't my kids anymore. They were a number, a statistic, a stat, a, uh, just a diagnosis that I needed to try to figure out how to help. And it was just like, just breathe, enjoy your child, and or children. I don't, if you have more than one, enjoy them. They're the same.
It's
They didn't
funny
change.
that you. I mean, not funny, haha. But it is striking to hear you say it was almost as if they weren't my kids anymore, because
Yeah.
that is something that I've heard and kind of hinted at, but never said it like that. But it's as if like we like as soon as we get this diagnosis, it's as if like we have to change everything and like we
Mhm.
stop trusting that they're
Yeah.
childrening the right way or something, or like that they're toddlering the right way or playing the right way, or it's like it's as if they become like we view them under this microscope that was never there before. It was
And you
and
view
it's
it differently.
urgency to like,
Yeah.
oh, and it's
Yeah.
a false thing. It's a false sense of whatever that is.
Yep. And that's how it was. It was like I played with my children and I knew that they didn't play in typical like ways, but I still played with them. And we still had fun and we still got it. But then it was just like after the diagnosis, then you're just
I'm
like,
in the interview.
wow, they really don't play well. And I probably should teach this. And because it's not working, and maybe I shouldn't play with them like this. And so like everything feels different. Everything felt like it needed to change. And everything doesn't need to change. Your child is still the same person that they were. You just now know that they their minds work differently. And then you learn to accommodate that and you learn to build them up and you learn to help them and support them in any way that they need so that they can live these beautiful, happy, healthy lives that we know that they are deserving of. And you just gotta breathe, man. I didn't breathe. There's so many things I did wrong in the beginning that I would hope that so many others don't do. It's just breathe, take some time for yourself, and take time to enjoy your children as well. Because those wait lists ain't going nowhere. And neither are them books that they give you, just breathe.
And when you rush to get on FSI or this waiver, they're not gonna rush to get it done. So
No.
the rush is only on like the sense of urgency is only on your part because like you said, like
Yeah.
okay, you rushed to get on this way, you ran to get this waiver, right? And how many years has it been since they've been on the waiver? And like how many years will it be? It's like what did you rush for? What was the rush in the first place?
And taking a little time to enjoy your children and think and breathe and just taking some time for that is not gonna hurt anything. It's not. So sometimes they just make you feel like you need to hit it and hit it hard.
And
And
so
that's
you know what I don't understand though, Tiffany? Okay, this is something I don't understand. It's okay. So there's like this urgency, right? And I don't know if you saw the interview with Marina Kay and the other ladies from, or the other people from Sincerely Your Autistic Child. I've interviewed them like last week on my page. And Marina Kay was saying there's like this sense of urgency. A lot of it stems from the Autism Speaks 100-day kit, right? We all know it's trash, but like that 100-day kit is like this like, okay, so you have 100 days to do something, right?
yeah,
Like, I never thought of that. I never even thought about like, yeah, it is like 100-day kit. You get all this stuff like done in 100 days, and it's like that is a big sense of urgency. But then it's like, if okay, I know that being autistic is a different neurotype or whatever, but let's just say like it is under the DSM, isn't it like a developmental diagnosis, right? Like so if their development is not there, why are we rushing them?
right.
Like there's this huge rush to like get them to do all of these things when the timelines don't even work for them. And so like we're like trying to do this thing, like prove that you can do it. And it's like, but it's a developmental diagnosis, so that obviously is not doesn't make sense to me almost. Like I didn't see that then. But like giving a little bit more time might be
Yeah.
beneficial.
Yeah, I got that kit. I got when Aiden was diagnosed. They had those kits back then. The
I
100.
didn't get one.
It was like a notebook, thing, and I didn't know too much about what was going on with anything. I was dealing with my own stuff, in my own head, and then trying to wrap my head around Aiden being diagnosed too. And then I was already kind of like, I was like, I don't want to say I was blaming myself because he was autistic, but it was just like I felt like he got it from me and I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't feel bad like about it. It was just I didn't know how to feel about it. It was just like,
I get that.
oh, you know, perhaps. But then again, he could also got it from his dad's side because his dad has autistic people in his family too. So it was just like, wow, I have a kid. Like you're sitting there and you're confused as a parent who just has a child who's just diagnosed and you don't know where to go and you don't know where to turn and you don't know what to do. And then they're like, boom, we have it for you. This nice kit. Here, there's a table of contents
I
right there.
love, and probably
Good to
some
the parent
art
and
in
pro.
it.
And like, yes. But back when we got it, it was like they gave us the link and then you go to it and we had to print it. Because they didn't have it as a. It was a long time. Aiden was like 2, so he's 14 now. So like 12 years ago or so. So we had to
All
print
that
it.
money that company makes, and you had to print your own.
Yeah, print my own kit, right? And it was just like, okay. But look, my confused self, and I know I printed it. I wasted paper and I printed it in ink too.
Used
So,
all your ink up.
and then honestly, I didn't even really use it. So it was just like, it was there, but it was just like, because I can't deal, I like schedules and routines and all that stuff, but sometimes like timelines were like, I can't do it. And it felt like there was just a lot of time. I said, you gotta do this first, then this, and then this. And it was just like, man.
A
And if
lot
you
of
felt,
demands. That's a lot of demands.
and you felt like if you didn't do it, you're failing. You're failing your child if you don't do this
It's a
in
real problem.
way. Yeah. And they still got that kit. And I don't know what is in it. I don't know if it's changed. I don't know if it looks different. I don't know if they added things or took things away. But they still have that kit, I heard. And
Renegade said that they did do an update of the kit, and it's, I mean, it's still bad, but it's better than it was. I do believe that they took the 5 stages of grief out. I believe that they took that out.
so because that show was in mine. So
I don't
back
quote me
when
on that, but
I
I
was
like the last time I looked, I think that they took it out.
younger. Oof. Hey, well, that's a good part, I guess. I know. I know in the beginning, like I think I realized that autism speaks annoyed me probably around our third walk with them. And
Oh, you
Aiden,
can walk different.
I did.
Gag
We were
me.
2, my friend that no, from the ages of 3 to 6, we would do the walks. And I would always tell my husband, because I didn't know anything really about, how I felt about like myself or how I felt about like Aiden. Um, and I was like, okay. But I would go to the walks and I would tell my husband, I was like to just go to the walks because we never donated to them because it just was something I just didn't do. But they had those resource centers, the resource mall or whatever they call it. It was like a resource event place where they have a bunch of um, vendors and different things there. And that's how I found out about um, a program that we're on now called HIP. If you're in Texas, HIP is like awesome. If you're on Medicaid, you can definitely, if your child's on Medicaid, you can qualify for HIP.
And it's
Um,
only in Texas?
this one's in Texas, but other state. programs might be called different. It's where they will, if you have a state insurance, if like you get insurance through your employer, they will pay your premium back to you. So and I don't know if it's called HIP in different
We have
states.
something like that. It's not hip here. It's something else, but I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's how I found out about that. Was at that. So I was like, okay, that's cool. And then that's how we got them in the speech, is like we found like the different and OT. But that last year, that third year, we went. They had a chamber in there, a freaking chamber. It was like it stood upright, and it was, I forgot what they called it, but it was something about they go inside of it,
Like a
and it
tornado thing?
no, it wasn't a game. It was like a biomedical bio
Like an
something.
oxygen, like a high pressure one?
Is that what those are called? I think
Like,
might have been what that was or something.
I,
But they go in it and it's supposed to do something with their bodies. It's some type of sciencey.
like the submarine type thing. Like,
Yeah, hyperbaric
there it
something.
is, hyperbaric.
Yeah, and it was supposed to do. I couldn't do it. I
They let people go in there?
No, they just show you what it is, and so you have an idea of it. But it was just, that's what it is. She said chelation. Yeah, chelation. Hyperbaric. That's what it was. There was a
They
tube.
had that there?
Yeah, they had it on display. Like,
No.
I thought it was one of those things at Chuck E. Cheese, and you like you catch the money. I was like,
Yeah, like yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like,
yeah. No, it was that, and
no.
that was the last time I went to a walk.
That's disturbing. I didn't know that.
I was like, what are you doing?
That's really
And there
disturbing.
were people there, right there, signing up for it and listening to these people talking about how much it's going to help, and it's going to change them, and you're going to stick your kid in a tube
And
to
it's
do
completely
it.
disproven. I mean, like that has been actually disproven. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was, he was 6-ish. So he was, I don't know how many is he, 14? So about 7, 8 years old. It was so bad.
but this is like a whole nother conversation. I'm gonna get in trouble for this one. But like,
You can try.
don't do it, Megan. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, I'm gonna say it. I feel like, okay, so like the hyperbaric chamber works for things, right? There's things that it works for. I don't even know what it is, but there is a thing that it works for. I know that. But it feels like anytime they find something that works for like an unrelated issue, they're just gonna let the autistic kids in there and just,
Yeah.
like kind of like just throw them in the pot. Like it
Yep.
doesn't matter. Like, oh, oh well. Like even if it's a negative thing, like whatever. Like we don't care anyway. It's like let's just throw in the word for autism too. Like
Yeah.
that's
It's
what it feels like.
it's so it's like autism is in our brains. It's like so woven into like who we are.
Everything.
You can't change that. And it's so weird because one, science tells you that it's in our heads. It's in our brains. It's there. It's not going away. It's interwoven every part of us. But then you also have another part of science that's trying to cure it and fix it. I mean, you can't get it out. You can't take it out. It's there.
No, I know what it is. It is the bin. Hold on, it is the bin that it helps with, but there's something else that it does help with, and that they're working on, and it is part of the brain. It's like um maybe like I had it in my head. It's something about like the football players maybe that have like brain contusions or something. There's like something about the brain that it does help. So I remember somebody's brother did it. Like some famous person's brother did it. But well, sorry, okay. It's like, but yeah, you're so right. You're so right about that. It's like
Yeah,
it's
I just couldn't do it. I couldn't, like, that whole tube thing. I was like, what the heck is a tube for?
I can't
Like
believe that they had that there.
they had it there, the tube, and it was just
They were signing. They were using that as a research sign up. Is what it was. I mean, they were because that's they were doing. I bet that that's what they were doing because Autism Speak funds all that research, like
it
the
was there. It was so there, and they were like, you can touch it, and you can open it. And I'm like, oh, good. And then after, as soon as I saw that, I was like, because my husband was like somewhere else getting some of them free Chick-fil-A sandwiches, and I was like, they got a tube and they just throw bodies in, like that's what he did. And he was like, what? And so everybody like around me was like, what tube? I said they got tubes they put bodies in,
you
and
know
you
the
go
bodies and tubes.
and you come out and you not autistic no more. They got tubes. They put the bodies in there. And I'm like, just
Put it in. It's like voila.
oh, yes. I'm like, how dumb does that sound? And I was just like, I'm not putting my baby in no tube. But they had people there and standing around and confused parents and
Well,
a
I mean,
lot
as a parent,
they know what to do. And they're signing up for it. And they're or signing up for more information about being able to do it, and they don't know. They're at a place. They're at a walk for an organization that tells you how bad autism is and
and as
how
a new parent, right? Like, how could you? They're giving you this opportunity to help your kid, and you would not want to hold your kid back, right? I mean, like as a brand new parent who's coming in, this company, they wouldn't have this tube that they're throwing bodies in if it wasn't safe and if it wasn't,
bodies.
yeah, like they wouldn't throw whole bodies in the tube
Like
if it wasn't, like
I
they
was just
couldn't
like,
do that, right? But they don't know that they don't really want autistic people. Like they don't know that Autism Speak is trying to like rid
yeah.
the, the
And the thing is,
autism.
I didn't get it until that year when we went, and it's like I was seeing little things here and there, like in the commercials, that
Super
they would,
bad.
and what made me get Aiden diagnosed in the first place or looked at was because I saw one of their commercials, and it was like at the time I think it was like 1 in 290 or something. I don't know. But they would put that in the commercial, and then they were showing like all the symptoms and flags, and then I was just like
The
thinking,
flag, yeah.
I was like, huh. I didn't really like, put it together because at that time he didn't have any words, he wasn't speaking or any of that stuff. And I was just like, hmm, all right, let's go, let's check it out. We'll see. But it was just by that third year when I saw that tube, because I would see different commercials and stuff, and then I would just be like, this doesn't sit right. Like in like listening to them. But I would go because I like the resource mall, because I would go to other walks because we went to a lot of walks because I wanted the resources. I didn't really do the walking, but I wanted the resources they have because they seem to kind of like all gravitate towards the walks. And so I would go to like not just their walks, not but local organizations walks and stuff because I wanted to get who's the best speech therapist here? Who's the best OT here? We moved a lot. We moved around a lot.
It's
So
so
we were all
problematic that you have to go through a walk to
Mhm.
find resource. How
I was
problematic is
gonna bring
that?
that up next too. I was like, the fact that I had to find resources at a walk was what was wild. And there would be um therapists there that wouldn't show up on your Google searches, and they were at the the walks and stuff. And so it was just like by that third year, we were going for the lunch that we ain't have to pay for and the resources. But when that tube thing was like I couldn't. I was like I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
No,
that's so
it
shocking.
it was the tube and the fact that all the cameras were always on us because we were like the only black people there.
You
That
are not the first person that I've heard that from. Like, why
camera
are you following me around?
right there. It was just like it was like no. And because of how like my brain works, I wanted to make sure that I was making a decision that made sense and I wasn't just acting on like emotion. So when we got back home that night, I spent more time like diving into to Autism Speaks and then because when they give you all that stuff, they give you those packets and stuff, they don't sit there and tell you, hey, go read their mission statement. They don't tell you that. They just give you, they just say, here, this is this organization.
Donate to us.
They
That's what they
work
tell you.
and they work with autism. And so I went in and I took that kit I printed and I was reading and I would read more and I would go in and I would watch their commercials again and over again. I would go and read their mission statements and I would read this stuff and I was like, this is why this didn't sit right with me. Because they're trying to pull the autism out of me. And they're trying to take it out of my kid. And but it's like they were sitting there and they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. It's like on one instance, you're like, you want to help us in this navigate this world, but at the same time, you want to pull it out of us. So what is it that you want? I can't see how that works. It's two conflicting missions, and so I stopped around then. I didn't really spend much time when I went online and I started doing advocacy. I don't spend too much time, blasting them, putting
Right.
them out, like talking. But if you were to ask me, I don't do autism speaks. I don't. I also don't spend too much time, talking about my dislike of puzzle pieces and all that other stuff too. But
There's so many other things to talk about, like what,
yeah, there's
oh,
a
yeah, there's
world
so many things, yeah.
yeah. So I try to. There's a lot of people that go that route. So I leave that up to them, and I go a different route. But I do not support them at all. If you were to ask me, that's the answer you get. But yeah, that tube sent me on a path to learning more about them, and the fact that a lot of and that's part of what I'm gonna try and put in that ebook too is that you have to research what organizations that you want to get involved with, like deep dive, take a dive into their mission statements, look at their reviews, read everything, go over everything, see what they stand for, see what they support, follow their money, see where it goes.
And I mean, in your community too, like, who are
Yeah.
they helping? Like, what are you doing in the community? Yeah, like, who are you even getting assistance from? Like, those are the, to me, when it comes to like donating to organizations, like, I'm donating to organizations that have helped me and my family, right?
Hmm.
Like I'm not donating to the organization that puts out the most advertisements. I'm donating to people that like to organizations that are doing stuff. Okay, I'm coming. Hey, okay, so we've been on for like almost 2 hours. So
Yes.
I do want you to come back at some point. So we're gonna wrap this up. And I appreciate everybody that has been on today and talking with us. I've been watching your comments. Thank you so much to, yes, Bobby said, yeah, Bobby donated to autistic led organizations. Right. Sorry. Forgot to put that in there. Yes. But yes, that is what I mean, obviously those are helping my family for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that should be said, definitely. Thank you all for being here. And Tiffany, thank you for being here. And I can't wait for your ebook to come out.
I can't wait for it either.
Can you do that first?
Oh, what did you say?
Can you finish that one first?
Yeah, I'm working on that one.
Okay, just for me. But yeah, so when your ebook comes out, we'll have you back on and we'll promote the shit out of it. And yeah, so you hang on. Thank you for being here, everyone. Thank you for all of the things. Tiffany, you hold on for a second. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.